Mitchell. I'm the Director of Church Culture and Pastoral Engagement for the American Pastors Network and one of the hosts for Stand in the Gap Today radio program with a listening audience of approximately 2 million people. In all of my travels and encounters, I know of no other program that provides and deals exclusively with the issues of forgiveness and reconciliation and healing and providing hope, like my good friends at Wounded Hearts, Wounded Churches. This unique live call-in program provides the kind of guidance and Christian growth and maturity and healing like no other program I know. The goal is clear: unity within God's Word, with God's people, to fulfill God's mission. And although Pastor Prince Moon, and the staff at Wounded Hearts might not fully agree with some of the guests they have on, through the guidance of the Holy Spirit, through patient and loving conversation and discussion, it amazes me at how quickly they can come to oneness. And it's a great joy of mine to give my wholehearted endorsement and encouragement and support. And now, welcome to Wounded Hearts and Wounded Churches.
Good day, friends. Good to see you tonight for the program and podcast, Wounded Hearts, Wounded Churches. Tonight is a live program, so we want you to feel free. You can text in that number with your questions and comments, 1-866-538-3664, 1-866-538-3664. You can also call the offices during the week. That first number is 478-283-9093, 478-283-9093. Second number, you can call in with your comments or questions during the week, and that's 478-784-7600. So again, glad you're here tonight to be with us. So friends, again, this program, we discuss issues that have caused issues in the church for the past 100 years or so. And we try to discuss these things in detail because we want to bring about unity in God's church. That's what we want, unity of God's people. And of course, we do that by discussion and by dealing with these issues to try to bring about clarification that can produce unity, because we need one another. This is your first time visiting with us. Glad you're here. I want to update you about this program and podcast. This is number 267. We've been doing this about 5 years now. We can be heard and seen on different platforms. Alexa is one, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Truth Social, Roku, and Stitcher. And there's many more also. Those are the names you can hear us on. Also, we can be heard in 59 different countries and territories in 303 cities in the U.S. area. Some new people have been listening. What do we have here? San Antonio, Texas. 1.5 million people live there. It's a big city. Also, Silicala, Alabama. Mido, Japan. Even Nairobi, Kenya, listening in. And of course, Ontario, Altimer, Ontario, and other places also too. And our engineer, Ms. McLeod, has been helping us in expanding that. Sheik out of Atlanta and does the work for our engineering process here. And also Saudi Arabia is listening too tonight. We're happy to have them listening in. And we've been discussing these areas that cause division, like I said earlier. One of them has been the earthquakes and the silence. There's been division on that. You know about those issues and going back for years. We want to bring about some clarity that can produce unity of God's people. And of course, we want to be consistent in those ideas so we can draw together. Because again, like I said earlier, friends, we need one another. So again, tonight, we want you to call in with your questions or comments 1-866-538-3664. If you have comments tonight, please chime in. But let me be clear tonight, friends. Our main focus, our genre in this podcast, the last 5 years has not changed. We want to see forgiveness, healing, reconciliation in God's church. Sure, I'll say it again. Forgiveness, reconciliation, and healing in God's church, because we need one another. We are better together. And so to do that, we want to again discuss these things to bring about understanding and unity. We've been discussing these ideas, friends, about Revelation the past month or so, and we want to talk about tonight Revelation 17:1 and 8:1. But a friend of ours is here tonight. You know him, Minister Brother Brian Jamison from Ohio area. Church of God minister, doing that for years and years. He has an excellent program called Line Upon Line Ministry. Excellent content. I've been there many times. And you know what I like about Brian, Minister Brian, because he has a burden for these studies. You know, it's good to enjoy Revelation, enjoy this or that, but when you got a burden from God to pursue these truths, that really brings about a change in your life and others' life that hear you. So we do thank God for that burden, because a burden, it's a motivation. You don't have to pump it up. It's there, and that's part of your life. So he's been burdened for this subject for years and years. He's a father, minister, Church of God for years. Give him a hand for being here tonight. Give him a hand for being here tonight. All right, my friend, good to see you. Before we start, tell us about your program and how we can contact you.
Thank you, my brother. I want to first just tell you how much I appreciate you and the staff at Wounded Hearts and Wounded Churches as well. We've done these podcasts together a few times, and it's always a blessing.
It is.
You can find us on both the YouTube and the Facebook platform. On Facebook, you can find us at www.facebook.com. www.facebook.com/Line Upon Line Ministry Inc. And you can find us on YouTube at www.youtube.com/at the Line Upon Line Ministry Inc. On the Facebook platform, you can only find 30 days of our previous broadcast because of their retention policy. But on the YouTube platform, you can find every message that we preached. You can find them how we preach them chronologically, or you can find them in their respective playlists, because we do tend to teach in a series. We usually preach live at 8 o'clock on Mondays and Friday nights.
Okay. All right. Where do you want to start? We can go to the postings we have. It's up to you.
Yeah, we can start with Revelation 8:1, and I just would like to talk about tonight what this silence is biblically and by definition.
Well, that's my question. What is the silence? How can we identify that? How do we know that? All right, let's dig in.
Yeah, I think the first place we can start is Revelation 8:1. Revelation 8:1 says, when it opened the seventh seal, and that's the prophetic time placement of the age that we are living in, and that where we can find this silence in heaven. It says there was silence in heaven about the space of a half an hour. The word silence in the Greek here is defined to mean to hiss. That is hissed or hush. So if you can imagine someone, I mean, when we want our kids to be quiet.
Okay.
Hiss,
okay. Yeah.
Hissed.
Yeah.
Or hush.
Yeah. Okay.
Silence.
Mm-hmm.
So when we study this word in the Greek and in the Strong's Concordance, it asks us to compare this Greek word. It's the Greek word sige, and it asks us to compare it to another Greek word. So it's this other Greek word is like a synonym. But the interesting part about this second Greek word is that it further defines sige, which is used in Revelation 8:1, And that definition is the first word that I would use to describe that definition would be disturbing. So we know it means to hiss, or to hush. So when we compare this word, this second Greek word that it asks us to compare it with, it further defines the word sige, which is the Greek word for silence here. It further defines it as a voluntary refusal or indisposition to speak.
Now that's serious. Now
Yes.
that's serious. Because
So
you're making a conscious choice not to speak.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow.
So the Strong's Concordance number for sige is 4602. And the viewers can look that up. But when we look up this other Greek word that it's siapoa, the definition for siapoa, it includes 4602, and it further defines 4602 or sige as a voluntary refusal or indisposition to speak. So we see that I would say that what we're seeing in the seventh seal is not only certainly there are ones that don't have the spiritual gifts to expound on the revelation, maybe teach the revelation. But the disturbing part of this definition is that it's a voluntary refusal.
Wow. Wow.
And so once we talk about and we answer some of these questions about what this silence is, how this silence will be broken. I remember being at a meeting, and I remember a brother there. I met him, and he said, yeah, I watched a few of your broadcasts online. He said, hey, when is this seven seal silence going to be broken? And at the time, God hadn't really revealed the things to me that we're going to be discussing on your podcast. But I said, it may be just best to look for the results. I mean, we know that from the revelation, every time a trumpet sounds, it's going to have an effect on the people.
True.
Maybe we should just be looking at those effects on the people. But as God began to reveal this message to me, brother, I found that there's more written about the seventh seal and the seventh seal message than any other time period. There's more information in the revelation about the seventh seal and the sound of the seventh trumpet than any other time period.
And I'm guessing the reason why, because it's so serious. The division, the strife, it's so serious.
Yeah. I think there's manifold reasons why. I think one of the reasons why, I mean, the wise man said there's no new thing under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Those things which were, or those things which shall be.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these trumpet sounds, a lot of these, the way that these three unclean spirits like frogs has worked against the church, it's already happened. And we know it's just going to happen again. But I don't want to get too much into the deep things of the message. But there is once God can get our focus where or once he can position us, I'll use it that way. Once he can position us in a different position to view the revelation a little bit differently, he can use those scriptures. I'm not talking about something that's not scriptural. I'm talking about,
Right.
I mean, line upon line,
Right.
precept upon precept.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes God has to just move us a little bit to give us a little bit of a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And when he does that, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so much here. I don't have enough time on earth to really look into this. And I mean, it's just like I told you before the broadcast. I want to thank you, brother, because as the burden came and I knew I would be on, and I started to look into things and meditate on things, then God started speaking to me. He showed me some things today that I'd never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And we probably won't be talking about them, but
thanks. Well, thanks. Thank you for that.
I mean, unless the Lord sees fit, we can certainly, I'll certainly make myself available. But but yeah, I think that once we address the what and how the silence will be broken, who will be breaking it and why the silence is it, like once we get to the what, the how, and the who, we'll understand why the silence is.
Okay, where do you want to start, my friend? Friends,
What?
we're halfway through already, so I need you to contact us. Very important topic. There's been splits, divisions the past 75 years on this. So text in tonight, 1-866-538-3664. A brief break. We'll be right back with this important topic. Be right back. The best is yet to come.
My name is Brian Jamison, the Church of God Lineup Online Ministry, Inc. The Lord saved me in the year 2009, called me to preach about a year later. And around the year 2019, we started the Church of God Lineup Online Ministry, Inc. The last few years, we've had the opportunity to work with Brother Moon and the saints there at Wounded Hearts, Wounded Churches. We sincerely feel that he has a sincere desire for the unity of God's people, and we are honored to be able to work with him. We hope to see you at the Wounded Hearts, Wounded Churches podcast, and we just pray that the podcast will be a blessing to you. God bless. You can find us at www.youtube.com/at the Lineup Online Ministry Inc. Or you can find us on the Facebook platform at www.facebook.com/Lineup Online Ministry Inc.
And friends, we're back. Brother Jamison, working with Revelation 17:1 and 8:1 about the silence, what it is, will it be broken, etc. My friend, go right ahead.
So the next question we can ask is, how or who will this silence be broken by? And that's where Revelation 17:1 comes in. And we probably won't get into this either, brother, because we'd be on your podcast for a year. But when we view the angel in 17 and 18, those two angels, they're vile angels. And like I said, I don't have time to go into it now, but one of the perspectives that the Lord has given me is that it puts those vile angels in the seventh seal. So if we pull up Revelation 17:1, this is one of the vile angels. And he says, and there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Now, right here in this text, we can see the silence being referred to. We can see the silence being referred to in a couple different ways. If we look really hard and we ask God to help us, it's right there in the text. So when Revelation 17, when John says, and there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, we know that's one of the vile ministers. It says, and talk with me, saying unto me. Now, when we look the word saying up to saying in the Greek, it means to lay forth. That is figuratively relate in words, usually a systematic or a set discourse. So that definition right there, it illustrates for me a message. When we lay something forth, we're laying forth a message.
Yes,
when we present someone in words, usually of a systematic or set discourse. I mean, Jesus and Peter preached discourses. But one of the synonym words that it gives us in this definition It comes from G4438 in the Strongs, and it's defined properly to break silence.
Interesting.
So if you just think about it, and it's kind of so obvious that we miss it. When this angel begins to start saying something to John and begins to start talking to John, when he says something, he's breaking silence. That's what you're doing when you're saying something.
Right.
Especially when you're preaching a message. So when you make that transition of not preaching a message and being silent to actually preaching the message, you're breaking the silence. There are a host of truths, brother, that let us know that these vial angels can be viewed from a perspective of the seventh seal. Real quick, we can look at let's look at the fifth verse. Or no, I'm sorry. Let's look at where is that at now? Let's go back to Revelation 15, because Revelation 15 is an introduction to the vial series. Okay, so Revelation 15:1 says, I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues. Now, you say, well, what are these 7 last plagues? Are these 7 last plagues over the span of the gospel day? Well, they could be. And I'm not saying that that's a wrong perspective. But if we look at the type of the fall of Jericho and the fall of Babylon, Jericho and Babylon didn't fall until the 7th day. And during the time frame of those 7 days, they were told to march around the city for 6 days, blowing the trumpets with ram's horns.
Blowing the trumpets, yes.
But encompass the city 7 times on the 7th day. So they were 7 times that the trumpet was sounded forth on the 7th day. That's just one truth. But if we go to Revelation 15:5, John says, and after that, I looked and behold, the temple of the tabernacle of the testimony in heaven was open. Now, this is just symbolic language of the temple. We are God's temple, or tabernacle. Revelation says, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men. It says the temple of the testimony. You say, well, what is the testimony? Well, remember when John bowed down at the angel's feet to worship him, and the angel said, no, get up on your feet. Seest thou do it not? I and thy fellow servant and of thy brethren worship God, for the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. So we know that the testimony is Jesus. The ark of the testimony in the Old Testament was just a type of Jesus. So when John says, after that I looked and behold, the temple, or our temple of the tabernacle of the testimony, or of Jesus, was open in heaven, all he is doing is telling us that I could see Jesus in God's people. To put it in our layman's terms and take the symbology or symbolism out of it. But that's not what I want to get to. I want to get to the prophetic time placement of the temple of the tabernacle of the testimony in heaven was open. And we can see very similar language to that in the Revelation as well. That puts these vial angels, or Revelation 15:5, in the 7th seal. So if we back up to Revelation 11 and 19, we can see very similar language. Revelation 11:19 says, and the temple of God was open in heaven. Well, what heaven is he talking about? It's not the heaven where God dwells. It's talking about the ecclesiastical heaven, the heaven that he's made us to sit in.
Are there 4 or 5 heavens? How many are there?
There's kind of like a set of 3, and then within those 3, there are 2 other kind of subsets, I believe, when you study the Greek. But here we can see very similar language to Revelation 15:5. That said, the temple of the tabernacle and the testimony in heaven was open. It says the temple of God was open in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of his testament. Very similar language. It's the same symbols, very similar language. And then it goes on to say, and there were lightnings and voices
Yes, yes.
and thunderings
Thunders,
and an earthquake
earthquake, right?
and great hail.
Hmm.
There's only one place we're going to read of great hail. We can read of time,
Sure.
but the great hail comes in the evening time and in the seventh seal.
Mhm.
You say, well, what's the prophetic time placement of Revelation 19? Well, all you got to do, Revelation 11:19, that says that the temple of God was opened in heaven and was seen in his temple the ark of his testament, and there were lightnings and voices and thunderings and earthquake and great hail. We know that's all seventh seal.
Hmm.
But if you back up to the 15th verse, it says, and the seventh angel sounded. So that tells us that this temple of the temple of the ark of the testament and the temple of God being open in heaven, and the temple of God was open in heaven, and it was seen in his temple what was Revelation 15:5. After that, I looked and behold, the temple of the tabernacle of the testimony was open in heaven. And Revelation 11:19, and the temple of God was open in heaven, and it was seen in his temple the ark of his testament. All you got to do is back up to verse 15, and it tells you that it's the seventh seal. So when we're looking at the Revelation chart and we see that seventh angel, though that seventh angel can be viewed as seven angels, just like the type that we see in Jericho.
7 days preaching. Well, this preaching on the seventh day, 7 messages on the seventh day.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, if you think about it in terms of light and understanding,
Mhm.
the seventh angel has to preach all the light and understanding that he has been given,
Mhm.
but he's also got to preach all the light and understanding of the sixth seal, the fifth, the fourth, and on back.
What a message. What a message. What a message.
And the number 7 is the number of completeness. In order for it to be a complete message, it's gotta be the number 7. And one thing I'll point out also from Revelation 8:1, brother, it says, when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of a half an hour. And some people are going to say that I'm proud for saying this, or I'm being boastful, and I'm not. I'm just looking at the scriptures and what the scripture is telling us. When he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of a half an hour. We know that the silence, or the sound of the revelation, every time period starts with the trumpet sound.
Mhm.
I mean, you go back to the angel series. The first angel sounded, the second angel sounded, the third angel sounded. That didn't happen in the seventh seal. It tells us that there was silence when the seventh seal was opened. There was silence in heaven about the space of a half an hour. Now think about it. If we just think about it, this tells us that there are some ministers in the seventh seal that don't have the seventh seal message.
And the effect has been devastating,
Yes.
almost irreversible in some folks' lives. Division, strife, church splits,
Yes.
etc.
Yes.
Devastating,
Yes, sir.
devastating.
Yes, sir.
It's even going on as I speak. Any questions from our listeners?
Yes, we do have a question from Dennis Kidd 4045. He asks, Brother Jamison, I just got on a few minutes ago. How long again does the silence last? Just inquiring.
And
While you're saying that, this is Pastor Dennis Kidd. He's been pastoring probably almost old as I am. Well-read individual. Glad he called in. Lord bless him. Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
thank the Lord. Yeah. So I mean, just like my response to the man that I met at this particular meeting, I told him one of the things that we can look for is just the results of the seventh seal, and we know that we're not seeing the results of the seventh seal ministry. We're not seeing what did Revelation 19 and or Revelation 11:19 tell us? It says there were lightnings, voices, thunderings, earthquake, and great hail. I mean, you ask most people when they say, "No, we're not seeing that. We're not seeing those results." One of the things it says there were lightnings, or there was enlightenment. And when you look at another subset of this angel in Revelation 17, see, because Revelation 17:1 says there came one of the 7 angels that had the 7 vials and talked with me. Well, you keep on reading down through until you get to Revelation 18:1, and John says, after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, So this angel in Revelation 18:1 is another angel. It's another vile angel. But listen to what it says. Just like Revelation 11:19, it said, and there were lightnings. Lightnings. Sometimes when I pray on my broadcast, brother, I pray that the lightning of understanding might flash upon the faces of thy people.
And that's the enlightenment of the word of God.
That's the enlightenment of the word of God. So when you look at this, another angel in Revelation 7 or Revelation 18, which is just a distinct but another angel of the vile angels that he sees in 17. It says, after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory.
Wow.
So he's bringing more understanding. And you say, okay, well, that leads us to our one of our other questions is, what is he bringing us understanding on?
Mm-hmm.
What are these angels going to be bringing us understanding on? Well, that's the message, and it's written right in the Revelation. It's written,
Brother Brian. Our time is gone. We've gone beyond time already. It's going by so fast. Yeah. I've got some questions about the message. It may not happen everywhere in the world, but it can happen where we are, individual basis. We'll hold that for next week. We want to find out why the silence occurred, when it's going to be heard again, the truth. We'll come back to that. Brother Brian, thanks a lot, my friend. See you next week. Thank you so much. Those who listened in, Lord bless you. To our engineer, thank you so much too. We'll see you next week with this very important. This study, friends, is intricate.